Hello friends, welcome to another video. Welcome back to my channel and happy Thursday this is going up on. So I hope you're having an amazing day so far. As you can tell by the title of this video, today we are answering a frequently asked question. Am I ever going to compete in a bodybuilding competition ever again? And just kind of my general thoughts about that stuff yesterday. Well, I'll get into it. But before that, I wanted to make some lunch and I figured I would show you what I'm making. So let's head to the kitchen. Alright, coming to you live from the floor of my bedroom. I wish I had like a cute aesthetic backdrop for you guys, but I just don't quite have my life together that much yet. That was the plan for our office. It's still a work in progress, but currently Andrew's in there on client calls, and I also got him a new piano, like a digital piano for his birthday, and he's been practicing on that. So I'm sitting on the floor of our bedroom, and I have a highly frequently asked question topic slash rant ramble on deck for today, and that the overarching concept of this talk is like, competing, is it good or bad? Extreme fitnessing, is it good or bad? And also answering the question, will I ever be competing again? So Ollie's begging to come in. So number one, I will never compete again. That's like, you can never really say never, but I'm like 99.9% sure that I will never ever do a competition prep, step on stage as a physique competitor ever again. And that's not because I didn't enjoy competing. That's not because I think everyone who competes has terrible judgment or I hate the sport or anything like that. But personally, I have seen a lot of consequences and repercussions from my competing days, to where like I'm working so hard to get those things fixed that once they are fixed and I do feel better and in a spot where I could potentially like do a diet for a show again, I will have worked so hard and waited so long to get to that point where I literally am not willing to do anything to mess that up. So yeah, my health is just way too important to me to ever compete again, honestly. If you're newer to my channel, then you probably haven't seen like my competition series and all that stuff, but basically I've done 6 NPC bikini shows. I've competed on the national stage twice. I've won an overall, I've won my class, like both on a regional level and then on the national level. The best I ever did was 15th, and like I was pretty happy with that. I never started competing as like a quest for my pro card or like road to pro or anything like that. Like I just did it as a way to challenge myself, and I've always been competitive. I've always been an athlete, and so the like competitive aspect of it always kind of appealed to me. But to be honest, sorry, I just ate a oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. I have oatmeal in my teeth. To be honest, even though I thought I was pretty informed going into competing, I wasn't. Like, if you would have told me how extreme my preps would have had to get, I probably would have never done it. Or if you would have told me the consequences that followed, I definitely never would have done it, or at least I would have done it very differently. So when I say consequences, again, just a quick recap, I have like whole videos on this stuff, but I now have something called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. That is an autoimmune disease that affects your thyroid, and basically I'm hypothyroid because of that. And that is usually triggered by putting a lot of stress in your body, and in this case I'm very confident that competing was a large part of what triggered my Hashimoto's. I already have an autoimmune disease called linear scleroderma as well, so my body was already like delicate and susceptible to more autoimmunity, and I was so headstrong and dead set on competing that I didn't really care if there were going to be consequences, and that's obviously really unfortunate. I was totally in the mindset that like, why do anything unless you're gonna be the best at what you do, or if you like, unless you put like 1000% of your effort and energy into what you do, like what's the point of doing anything if you're just gonna be average? Like that was the mindset I was in, and yeah, now I'm really not in that mindset. I'm happy doing things in moderation and having balance in areas of my life, and like I don't really give a shit if I'm the very best at what I do. Like yes, of course I want to excel in my business, and yes, of course I want to excel in my fitness and my performance in the gym, and I want to excel at my horseback riding and all that stuff. Like I want to do well and I want to improve, but I'm not going to go to extremes and sacrifice my health, my well-being, my relationships, my like brain function. I'm not going to sacrifice all of that stuff in order to like reach that like elite level ever again. And basically, yeah, I've learned a very valuable lesson. I have a lot more perspective now, and again, nothing against people that choose to compete, but if you are going to compete, just make a very informed choice, know the risks, and you know, like keep your ego out of it. I think one thing that was like, I was really deep into my second prep, so I did like 2 6-month preps with only 3 months in between, which is not nearly enough time off. I was in the middle of my second prep, and it was a grind, you guys. And like I was like, well, I didn't come this far to only come this far, and that was like all ego talking, like, well, like you have to finish your prep, you have to like do your best, you just have to keep grinding. That was not a good decision for my health. That was not a good decision for my longevity in the sport, and just yeah, that I was making choices purely based off ego. I was not making choices with my own best interest at heart, which is unfortunate, but that is what happened, and I feel like it's really important to talk about that stuff. Now, this whole video was kind of prompted by a post I did yesterday on Instagram that actually blew the frick up. It has over, there's so much food on my phone screen. It has over, hold on a second. Okay. So it has over 9,000 likes and almost 500 comments, which is crazy for me. And this is the post. This is what it looks like. And basically, in the caption, I just want to read it to you in case you missed it. If you didn't miss it and you did read it, maybe listen again or just fast forward a few seconds. But here's what I said. It's time to set a new standard in fitness. It's time to recognize that competitors and fitness models go to extremes in order to achieve a certain look, and oftentimes they do so with no regard to their health. I've been that person. Physique competitions are not health competitions. I see young girls and women who are new to fitness looking to extreme physiques for their quote goal body, and that's not okay. Just like how I used to look at FITSPO photos that were incredibly unrealistic for my body type. This is really true. I saved all sorts of photos from Tumblr of girls with like long, lanky legs and thigh gaps and like tiny little waists and, you know, long blonde hair and freckles and stuff, and like I look nothing like that. My body type is nothing like that. And I don't know how I thought on earth that I was going to achieve that, but apparently excessive cardio and undereating was my answer at the time. I digress. Continuing with the caption. People who have been around competitors / fitness models before people who haven't been around competitors and fitness models before do not realize that the methods used to obtain that look are not healthy. There are a select few outliers who are able to reach very low body fat while maintaining muscle and eating lots of food, but for the rest of us, it's extreme. Low calories, high training volume, lots of cardio, not maintainable, and not a realistic / healthy goal for 99.9% of people. Not to mention, when seeing a competitor who is not flexing, no pump, nothing, which is in this left photo, competitors look unwell. I was so thin back then, and looking at my photos from prep, like when I was deep into prep, it's honestly hard to look at now because I don't remember being that small. I don't remember thinking that I looked thin or sick, or I never thought I was that small. Like, and now I look at it and I'm just like, what the hell? So anyway, competitors close to show always joke about being unable to get warm. What the fuck? And that, quote, you know you're ready when people start asking if you're sick. Double WTF. Like, there's a lot of disordered and just not cool things that competitors do and endorse and like just fall into the mindset of, and you don't really realize it until you're kind of out of that cycle. But there are a lot of things that are kind of encouraged or just accepted when you're in the bodybuilding culture that now I realize are basically like disordered. And to brag that like, oh, you know you're ready when people are asking you if you're sick, like, that's messed up. So I said, I'm not really sorry if this comes off as harsh, but I'm just so sick of these extreme physiques being glorified. Yes, they represent hard work and sacrifice, but at what cost? Your health, your relationships, your brain function, your body image. And then side note, some competitors come off prep with little to no consequences. It is possible, but even more and more girls are coming forward with long-term issues, even when they did everything quote unquote right or had a good coach. So basically, choose your fitness inspiration carefully, ladies. Don't let the smoke and mirrors cloud your judgment and lose sight of what's most important. It's time to recognize that extreme physiques are not healthy and healthy physiques are not extreme. Health over everything. So yeah, that's really been on my mind lately, and that's something that I want to bring more and more awareness to and like keep in the forefront of everything that I do from now on, because I came from a background of having very unrealistic expectations for what I wanted to look like. I remember being 16 years old and looking at, like Tumblr and these like FITSPO girls on Instagram. Again, they had like long legs and thigh gaps and long hair and like perfect skin, and that's what I aspired to look like. And mind you, I was a athlete. I played volleyball year round. I was gonna go play volleyball in college. I have naturally muscular legs. I have just like a bit more of like curvy, thicker build, but I fought that, and I fought it so hard. I did so much cardio. I hated running, hated it, but I would force myself to run a 5K like every day and then just do abs and then barely eat. I would eat and I would track my calories, and I would eat like 1,200 calories a day because that's the magic number that gets like promoted everywhere for some reason. But I was active. Like 1,200 calories for an active teenager is not enough food. So yeah, I just remember really like over exercising, focusing way too much on like calorie burn and so much on food, and having like anxiety if I had to miss the gym or miss food, and a lot of things suffered. And eventually my relationship got a little better with that stuff, and I went off to college and played volleyball, and then eventually I competed, and all of that stuff kind of like drifted back in as a problem because I was so hyper focused on competing and doing well. So there are a lot of reasons why I'm never competing again, but I think you kind of get the gist of them. As far as the point of that post goes, I just really want to be vocal about what is sustainable, what is healthy, what is a realistic goal. You can't expect yourself to look like a fitness model. You can't expect yourself to look like a competitor. You probably can't even expect yourself to look like fitness girls on Instagram who aren't competitors, because quite frankly, their life probably revolves a lot around fitness. So I'm just saying, be careful who you choose as your goals. Be careful whose body you idolize and aim for, because A, you'll never look like anyone other than yourself, and B, you don't know the full story of what they're doing to achieve those things. There is a lot of deception, there's a lot of overtraining, there's a lot of undereating, there's a lot of PED use that people don't disclose. So just be careful who you're looking up to and who you're getting your inspiration from, and above all, put your health first, please. I'm begging you, put your health first. And just make sure that fitness is a part of your life and not your whole life. So that's kind of my rant for today. That's really been on my heart and on my mind, and I'm sure I will talk more about different parts of that soon. But yeah, that's something that I really want to continue talking about, and I would love your feedback on. So feel free to leave a comment down below. I will try to get back to as many of them as possible, especially if you're within the first couple of days of commenting. And yeah, if this video was enjoyable and you liked this little sit down talk, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below if you're not already. I'd love to have you as YouTube bestie. And yeah, that's it. If you haven't seen my last video, which is about stress management and anxiety management, definitely check that one out. I spent a lot of time on it, but it hasn't quite gotten the love I think it deserves. So check that one out and show me some love on both of these videos. It was great hanging out with you today, and I will see you again very soon. Oh, before I go, I wanted to let you guys know that I have a full free week of workouts available to you guys. I'm just like feeling the love and I want to share some workouts with you. So one full week of training is available for you to download. If you just click the first link in the description box, you'll be able to access that. I'll send it straight to your inbox and you can kill it in the gym for a whole week with me. So that's really it. I will see you guys very soon. Bye.